What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this emergency update of the Coastal Cast Live. I am Andrew Houston with Myrtle Beach Aware, and we are talking about our potential winter storm. It has actually been kind of changed from potential to actual here. So we're a couple days away, and we're getting ready to experience what could be some snowfall here in the Grand Strand, the first snowfall since 2022. So the precipitation generally from Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday morning. However, the confidence in any accumulating snow, sleet, and ice from freezing rain is very low at this time. So another storm system that we're watching Thursday into Friday morning could bring another quick round of freezing precipitation to the area, but it's way too early for any kind of specific information on that as well. We'll be continuing to monitor that as we kind of move through the next few days into the beginning half and middle half of the week. So we'll watch that Thursday, Friday impact. Right now, our main focus is on the Tuesday, Wednesday impact as an area of low pressures working across the Gulf of Mexico and eventually out to the Atlantic. Where that's going to go is really going to determine how much accumulating snow we get versus how much we don't get, or if we just end up with a sunny day. So the sunny day option's pretty much out of the question as we get closer now, but anything can happen when it comes to our atmosphere. The atmosphere is ever changing all the time, so anything can happen there. As far as hazardous impacts, hazardous travel, definitely that too wants to start falling in our area. Can lead to treacherous travel conditions if you need to be out in overnight hours. As far as snow and sleet goes, moderate impact Tuesday night into Wednesday, that's when we're expecting to see the accumulation occur overnight hours. So other hazards that we're looking at, black ice, obviously Wednesday night into Thursday, you have run that chance as things start to thaw out a little bit during the day. We can see that refreeze Wednesday night into Thursday. So we're at a moderate impact for the black ice and refreezing. Cold wind chills. Wind chills starting tonight, overnight hours. When you wake up tomorrow, you're going to feel like you're in a totally different world. Moderate impact overnight tonight, a little bit less of an impact as we go through the day or the evening and overnight hours into Tuesday. But then again, very moderate impact Tuesday night through Wednesday night, and then a really high impact as far as cold and wind chills goes Wednesday night into Thursday, and then again a moderate impact Thursday and a minor impact Friday or Thursday night into Friday. So we want to be careful as those cold temps are starting to work down into our area overnight tonight as that front slides through the area and out off the coast. We are going to be experiencing very, very cold temperatures, which can lead to pipes bursting, your kids being extremely cold, your heating and air or your heating systems can take a toll. So we want to make sure that we keep a close eye on all of those things. Dress warmly when you're outside. Temperatures are not going to be much above freezing for most of this week, and if we even get above freezing for a couple of those days. So those are the main hazards for that. When we start talking about timing and accumulations, okay, so we're going to look at a lot of this on the models here as we kind of work through, but as far as timing goes, Tuesday p.m. through Wednesday a.m., that's pretty solid right now. I've been tracking, I have keep my notes like I showed everybody yesterday. My notebook is filled with pages here of just nothing but keeping track of trends. I like to write them down versus trying to look at models and kind of go back and forth. I don't have a whole forecasting team sitting behind me doing some of this work for me. I do all this myself. So this is me checking out the models, looking at trends, figuring out those trends, and creating my own forecast based on those those trends just like any other forecaster, but I don't have a whole team working with me like the National Weather Service and local meteorologists do. This is just me. Do I kind of go to some of those meteorologists and the National Weather Service for some input on, basically taking a look at my forecast and making sure I'm not totally crazy? Sure, absolutely, I do. I take that into consideration. And with me being a National Weather Storm Spotter for the National Weather Service in Wilmington and Charleston, I really take it serious to make sure I'm putting out the right information to all of you and that I'm accurate. But sometimes it feels good to be a little bit more on the accurate side than some of the others. So I like to formulate my own forecast. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And that's okay. I don't mind. So what we're looking at as far as timing and accumulation. Okay. So like I said, the trends have been that 7 p.m., 4 to 7 p.m. Tuesday into about 10 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday. I'm going to say roughly, most of the models are showing by 7 a.m. things are pretty much clear. There are a couple runs that have shown a little bit of lingering activity going into the early morning and early afternoon time frame. There were some that kind of went out till 1 p.m., but I'm going to stick with that 7 a.m. So 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., a 12-hour time frame of moderate impacts to our area. Snow amounts, we're looking some models are showing a dusting, others are showing 6 inches. So what I kind of determined is we're anywhere between on the coast and somewhat inland, that half an inch to an inch, maybe a little bit more. And there are some isolated areas that could see a little bit more snow accumulation. However, I'm going to go overall, based on all of the models, 1 to 2 inches along the coast in towards Marion. We're going to be about an inch, a dusting to an inch of snow is what my accumulation is right now. Very, very uncertain at this point. That is just me basing what the models have been trending. So that's just very, very unconfident. I'm not confident in that, but that's something that I want to start pushing out. And that's going to change as we kind of move through the next 24, 48 hours as we get into Tuesday afternoon. We'll get a little bit closer to what we think those accumulations might be. So this time, 1 to 2 inches on the coast and inland out towards Marion, and then an inch, a dusting to an inch west of there. Not terrible accumulations, but enough to kind of enjoy some snow for a little while. And snow that's going to stick around and it's not going to melt right away. So we may have a couple days of beautiful snow to look at here before it actually melts away for us. We talked about wind chills. Wind chills are going to be a big deal Wednesday night. So as this low pressure moves off and away from us, wind chills are going to start picking up and being a factor overnight. So, we could see, North Myrtle Beach, 10-degree wind chills, Myrtle Beach, 12 degrees. So, all the way out to Bennettsville where they're looking at 10 degrees, what the wind chill factor could be. Georgetown down to 12, Wilmington, 12 degrees, Whiteville, 10, Lumberton, 10. So that 10 to 12 degrees is very cold, very, very, very cold. So we want to keep that in mind, that the snow is not the only thing that we're watching. We're also watching those wind chills as well. So we want to keep a close eye on that stuff. So let's kind of dive into some of these models as they are sitting right now. Right now, we're looking at current radar here. There are some showers. They're all kind of breaking up at this point, working their way through the central portions of Horry County, a little bit down into Georgetown County, and so on. So they are kind of very scattered right now, just kind of breaking up at this point. So you could see a few. There's one little band of heavier showers moving into the Marion, Mullins area a little bit, kind of looking to go a little bit west of Loris here as we go through here. So you may see a little shower or two up in that area. But overall, we're clearing out here for the rest of the day. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that radar off. We're going to switch over to some models here and take a close look. I'm going to start with pivotal weather here and kind of go over that 0.6. We might have the 12Z in now. So here's the 12Z Euro run. I actually did not analyze this yet. This just hit. So we're at good timing here. So let's start with a forecast loop of this. This is the most current Euro model for the day. This is the most current run, just loaded. And we're taking our first peek at this together. So let's dive in here. I'm going to keep this up for the entire United States for the first go through here and just taking a peek at. So the Euro looks to have calmed down just a little bit. You can see that center of low pressure down here, but the storm actually has weakened a little bit compared to, let me go back to my Euro run 1013. So the 0.6Z was showing 1013 millibar. We're now looking at 1016. So it has decreased in strength just slightly according to this model. So we're looking snow time frame here still Tuesday night and through Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. So by 7 a.m., completely out of here and gone. Now let's move. We can zoom this in a little bit closer here to South Carolina. We'll get that southeast U.S. view here. And here you can see, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna move this down for you guys so you can see South Carolina a little bit better. There we go. So now that we can see South Carolina a little bit better, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna rotate through this here. So here we are. This is Tuesday at 1 o'clock. By 7 p.m., you can see the snow is starting to work. Oh, sorry. Go back. 1 o'clock, 7. You can see that snow is starting to work into the Grand Strand area. Still a bunch of wide open space out here, Marion Mullins area. And then the 0.6, this is going to be 1 a.m. You can see that snow is still working through our area. At 7 p.m., looks like we got some freezing rain along the coast south of Myrtle Beach. So Charleston, Georgetown area looks like it wants to start with some freezing rain. At that point, it's either, we'll take a close look at that one. There we go. And then by, like I said, 1 a.m., you've got that snow still in here, and by 7 a.m., completely gone. Now let's take a peek at, so we're still that 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Time frame. We're holding steady with that. Let's take a look at total snowfall for what the Euro wants to show us on this new run. So I'm going to take some notes here. We're going to do Euro 12Z. And this is going to be timing. Timing's going to be 7 p.m. through 7 a.m. Wednesday. And then accumulation. Okay, so let's walk through accumulation here. You can see as we kind of move through, we're going to go out to the 12Z Thursday. And here we are looking. The latest Euro wants to show us 3 inches along the coast. And then, so that's right at 2.9 inches for Myrtle Beach. As you move further inland, you're getting to that half an inch to an inch. And this actually brings snow a little bit further west here. So no matter where you're at in South Carolina, you're looking at that chance for snow. So awesome, awesome, awesome. I love to see it. Take a look here. So I'm pretty confident here. What are we looking at? The 0.6 was coastal 2 to 4 on the Euro. Inland dusting to 1 inch. So still pretty close to that 2 to 4, where I'm still going to say 2 to 4 here along the coast for the Euro. Coastal 2 to 4, and inland dusting to 1 inch. So we are, still in that 2 to 4, inland 1 inch, dusting to 1 inch here on the Euro. So now this is not a final forecast overall. This is one model run. This is the 12Z of the Euro today. So don't want to, like I said, confidence is starting to grow slightly. And that's kind of where, in the beginning of my broadcast here, I kind of said, those snow totals, what I was looking at is 1 to 2 inches along the coast out to about Marion, and then 1 inch west from there, a dusting to 1 inch. So I'm going to stick to that currently right now. But the Euro is showing 2 to 4 as we kind of work through this 12Z model run. Let's take a peek here just for curiosity's sake. We're going to take a look at surface here, and we're going to do dew points here. Let's see what the dew points are doing. This is going to be our moisture that is associated with this storm at the surface. So we can take a look at upper level moisture as well as we move. This is going to be Tuesday. This is going to be Tuesday night, 7 p.m. The dew points, sitting in the 20s, 30s, or in the 20s, teens to 20s. So not a ton of moisture inland here, which is going to keep those snow totals a little bit less as we kind of move westward. And the Euro does a pretty good job of indicating where that fine line is going to be as far as accumulation. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the lack of moisture because this center of low pressure is going to be down here pretty far. That's going to keep a lot of that moisture out over the ocean a little bit further. So we're looking, dew points pretty low, not a ton of moisture. You can see a lot of the moisture's centered way out here. There's a big center, and that's going to be the center of the low pressure down in there, where you're going to have a ton of moisture there associated with that. So that's keeping still a relatively good amount of snow here, according to the Euro, for the minimal pressure or the minimal moisture that we have here. The good thing is it is a low pressure system, so it is spinning counterclockwise, bringing that moisture in onto the coast and allowing that to change to the frozen precipitation, snow or sleet, freezing rain at that point. The Euro not showing a whole bunch of freezing rain here, but mostly snow. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Now, let's switch over here, and we're going to pull up the 12Z GFS. Again, this is just one single model, not a forecast. but it does a pretty good job of showing us trends and what's going on. So here we are out at, we're at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. By 7 p.m. Tuesday, we are working in. So again, that time frame 7 p.m. Starting. So this is matching well with the Euro as far as when precipitation is expected to start. And as we move through the overnight hours on Wednesday, or Tuesday into Wednesday, by, this is 7 a.m. Wednesday, I would say by 1 p.m. So Wednesday, 1 p.m. And that matches my notes here that I've taken earlier because I did have time to analyze this. So 1 p.m. on Wednesday, completely out of here. Now, what are we showing as far as total snowfall? Let me find the 10 to 1. So total snowfall for the GFS on the 12Z run here. Oh, I don't need to do a sounding here. So we're going to work this through, and I'm going to take this out through Thursday afternoon just to be safe. So I know we're being accurate here. So you're looking at, I had a dusting to 1/2 inch, and then further inland, a dusting at most. So right here, we're still on the 12Z run of the GFS, looking at a dusting to probably about, this is showing 1/10 of an inch. But the reason I said 1/2 inch is because as you get down here a little, just south of Myrtle Beach, you're looking a little over 1/2 inch. So the GFS is showing less snow amounts, less accumulation, and that's because we're pulling a little bit more moisture away. So I said our dew points were in the 20s there. So let's look at dew points here on the GFS as far as moisture goes. I don't need a sounding. So we're going to run this out through Tuesday. You can see that moisture, our dew points are at 0 at that point. So very little moisture here to work with along the coast as we kind of move through the storm. So a lot of that moisture is even further south and east of where the Euro is. The Euro is going to sit kind of up in here with a lot of the moisture extending well up into the Atlantic, more farther northwest of the center. So this is, the GFS is pulling a lot of that moisture pretty far off the coast here. We've got dew points in the 30s here just off the coast, which is going to bring us some of that moisture as we kind of work through the storm overnight hours. So you see by the time we're at 7 a.m. Wednesday, dew points in the 30s, dew point 36 off the coast, dew points at 13, 14 here in Myrtle Beach. So dew points are, a lot of moisture being pulled off of the coast and further away from land with that GFS model. So there's a lot of time left here that we've got to kind of put together this forecast as these models come out. The trend here, if we go back to, let's go back to yesterday on the 12Z Euro was showing 6 inches plus. And now the 12Z today, 24 hours later, we're looking at 2 to 4. The GFS, as far as yesterday at 12Z, the GFS was showing 1.5 inches. And now at the 12Z today, we're looking at a dusting to a half an inch. So the accumulation numbers are slowly decreasing a little bit, and that's because the models are starting to gain confidence kind of where the track of these storms, where this storm is going to go. The Euro puts it a little bit farther, a little bit closer to us than the GFS does. So we are getting to the point here where we're starting to get confidence on the track a little bit. Still, there's so many variables here, a lot up in the air. We want to see how far down this cold air extends, how far it's going to push this low pressure system to the south and east. So there's a lot of variables here that can change over time. But right now, I'm still sticking preliminarily. I'm sticking to that 1 to 2 inches here along the coast, that dusting to an inch a little bit further west from Marion out to Hartsville, Bennettsville. So we're going to kind of stick to that right now. The National Weather Service says greater than an inch out west. I'm not seeing that, but the National Weather Service sees that, and that's what they're calling. But I'm going to go with that 1 to 2 inches here along the coast, dusting a little bit further west. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Now we can take a look at Futurecast here on the radar and see what the Futurecast is showing. Let's go regional. Oh, sorry, global GFS. And that's going to be based on the 12Z run here. So we'll pull that up and let that load for a second here. A lot of data to formulate here. So as you can see, we're going to work through Tuesday. And here we are. Let's take a peek here. Let me pull up snow. Let's do winter precipitation type. There we go. Okay, so here we've got snow here, and we're going to take that back just a little bit here. So this is going to be Tuesday, 10 a.m. By 7 p.m., we've got some snow working into Myrtle Beach here on the Futurecast. And 1 a.m. wants to show some rain here. I don't think that's very true. Maybe we'll see a brief change to some freezing rain. But this is showing freezing rain here in Myrtle Beach. And then eventually this is right at sunrise, 7 a.m. on Wednesday. So a little bit of freezing rain there. And so let's pull up here on this model. Let's pull up total snowfall. And we'll let that load here. All right, so we're going to work through here's Tuesday or Wednesday, 4 a.m. So this being a little less conservative here, this Futurecast not showing much in the way of accumulation at all. But let me do this. I'm going to turn the We're going to turn this off. We're going to turn. Okay. Now let's move. So no, still not showing a ton of snow here as we go through, but this is just futurecast. So not a ton of snow there, not showing pretty much anything. But still, if we switch this back and we look at the actual models themselves, precipitation, this is the 12Z GFS, total snow accumulation. We go out. This is out to 7 a.m. Friday, still showing that trace to 1/10 of an inch here, a little bit further. So if you look back at that model here on my radar, you can kind of see the difference down here where it shows .4. This is showing 0.6. So back here, and we're going to look right here where it's showing 0.4. So you can see that kind of dips in and then back around, and the futurecast radar shows the same thing. So this is picking up on that little bit of accumulation that the GFS thinks we're going to see. So overall, still looking like we're going to get some accumulation. We're going to see some snow regardless, no matter where you're at. But that little bit of freezing precipitation that the GFS is showing is going to hinder some of that accumulation based on what the GFS is showing. So we're going to go back and we're going to kind of take a peek at what that futurecast looks like as far as that freezing rain. So if we look at here, we'll go right here to the center of Myrtle Beach, okay? And you can see snow 4 a.m. by 7 a.m. for switching to freezing rain. So freezing rain will always lessen the accumulation amounts. So the GFS wants to show the freezing rain kind of overtaking the snow at that point. But that's only one model run. If we went back to the 06, we'll pull that up here and we'll see what that shows as we kind of take a peek at trends. Okay, so we're going to go through to the 21st. That model, 10 p.m. on Tuesday. By 1 a.m., still snow, and then ending up with freezing rain at that point. So the GFS is staying consistent kind of with what it's thinking here as far as what the freezing rain would be like. Let's look at total snowfall. Still, again, you can see that track all the way down through, and that's pretty consistent with what the GFS has been showing. So accumulation's not out of the question, but the GFS is kind of wanting to pull that storm a little bit further southeast into the Atlantic, whereas the Euro is keeping it a little bit closer. I want to thank you for joining me here today. Please smash the like button, comment, share this feed. Let's get the word out to people. I am only one guy here. I do all of this myself, and I don't have a team of forecasters sitting behind me. I do this alone, and I rely on local meteorologists. I rely on the National Weather Service to kind of take a look. I write my forecast down right here in this notebook, go right through everything, and then I compare. Let's compare. But I like to come up with my own forecast. This allows me to get what I feel like is going to happen out to you guys. And then I kind of verify that with the National Weather Service and local meteorologists to kind of see if I'm anywhere even close on my thinking. But right now, I'm pretty confident that we will see snow. We will see some accumulation. The total accumulation amounts, I'm not confident on at this point based on the fact that these models are so far apart from one another on snowfall totals. We can switch here to the 12Z Euro for snowfall totals here. We will go total snow accumulation for the Euro, and we'll run that through, we'll say through Friday. So now we're in a totally different ball game here. 4 inches plus, that 2 to 4 inches, whereas the GFS wants to show nothing. And a lot of that has to do again with that moisture. If the further southeast this storm goes, the more moisture it pulls away with it. So we kind of, optimally, we would want to see the storm right here. Off the coast to bring us a high chance of higher precipitation. And that's kind of where the Euro's kind of been trending. But now you see that Euro kind of trending a little bit further southeast along with that GFS. So we can take a peek at what the GEFS is showing as far as this is the ensemble. We'll see what ensemble is showing as far as this is the mean snow accumulation going through Friday. A little over half an inch down into Charleston area. You're getting a little bit more, closer to an inch down in Charleston based on the GEFS. Not a whole lot of confidence there as far as accumulation at this point. A lot can change over the next 24, 48 hours with the track of this system. So we're waiting to see how far down and deep that freaking cold air that we all want, but if you're going to get, or that most people don't want, but I want because I want the snow. But what good is cold air without snow? The GEFS is still pretty confident as you get down into portions of Louisiana, Texas, looking at relatively large amounts of snow. So I think if you're going to see any storm chasers chasing storms, unfortunately, probably not going to be Myrtle Beach. I will be out and about, but significant storm chasers are going to be targeting probably this area of the country as we move into Monday, Tuesday. So for them, and then Tuesday into Wednesday for us. So who knows? But that's the GEFS. That is the ensemble run. We can look at ensemble snow accumulation. This is, again, we're going to run this out to Friday. So some members are pretty high on accumulation. Others are pretty low on accumulation here. This shows nothing. A lot of there's very little confidence as far as what we're going to see for accumulation, but we will keep a close eye on it. I'm very confident on the timing, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. That's pretty tight right now across all the models. The GFS maybe wants to go out a couple more hours, but other than that, that's about what we're looking at. Now, when we talk about that chance for some wintry weather Thursday night into Friday, most likely going to be in the form of freezing rain. We can take a peek at that. Here we are Wednesday and Thursday. You can still see this lingering moisture lingering precipitation off the coast. And by 4 a.m. Thursday, we see this little bit of freezing precipitation pop up, and then it really starts to take over at that point. And this is the GFS model. So Thursday into Friday, you're looking at that chance for freezing precipitation again. So we'll keep a close eye on this. We can look at it on the Euro 12Z here. Let's look at it. We'll look at it over here. Euro 12Z. We'll pull up the 12. Try it here. There we go. Okay, so precipitation type rate. Let's see here. Run this through Thursday. So there's the end of our storm there. The Euro doesn't even, Euro shows ever so light amount of freezing precipitation there. Thursday night into Friday morning, but really nothing there. So not a whole lot to hang our hat on there as far as frozen precipitation, but we are watching that. And I know the National Weather Service in Wilmington is watching that as well, just to see what is going to happen with this lingering precipitation out off the coast. So we'll keep a close eye on that. I will be back tomorrow with another update. I want to thank you for following. Please hit this like and share and comment buttons here. Tell us your thoughts. What do you think? And do you think I'm crazy, or do you think I'm kind of spot on with what you're hoping for? We want to know what you think. So we will be back. I will continue to post updates throughout the day and into the evening. Tomorrow, we will be back with another emergency storm update as we get close to this potential incoming winter storm for the Southeast. We will keep you updated, and I thank you very much. Your support allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, and I will be forever grateful for the people who stick with us and follow us and trust in us and like what I do. So I'm in this for you, and I'm going to keep track of my forecast as we move through the next 24, 48 hours, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.